Guys, what is good? We are back. Another episode of Marvin's Room. So glad you guys are joining me once again on this journey as we're in this journey together of manifesting the lives that we want, the people that we want, the abundance that we want, etc., etc. I wanted to jump on here today and discuss with you guys about are you playing the victim role? And I realized that so many people in life, we are playing the victim role and we don't even realize it. And I made a post on my Facebook and my Instagram, and I had wrote that it's sad that when you tell someone they need to wake up and get out of playing the victim role, it's sad how so many people bash you and start saying like, "Oh, you need to be more sensitive. You need to be this and stop calling that person out." And it's like everyone runs to protect the person that's playing the victim. And that's exactly why people never change and people never heal and get better, is because they continue to play the victim. Now, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with you feeling your emotions. I encourage everyone to feel your emotions. Feel sad, feel hurt. If you gotta scream, scream. If you gotta yell, yell. If you gotta cry, cry. If you gotta cuss someone out, cuss them out. I'm all for letting out those emotions and not running from those emotions. But what I am not for is I am not for people continuously year after year being stuck because they refuse to heal or deal with the trauma that happened to them at some point in their life, or multiple traumas that happened to them in their life. Because true healing comes when you are able to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I'm no longer going to let this situation that happened to me define me. I'm no longer going to stay stuck, because that's what happens. I know too many people that have been in relationships and they're literally making the same mistakes in their relationships for the past 15 years. And they're wondering why they keep repeating these patterns. And it's because they're still playing the victim. They're not out of playing the victim role. And I get it. Playing the victim role is comfortable. People are afraid because people have built their entire identity based around playing the victim. So if they heal that victim role that they've been playing outside of that identity, they're afraid. They don't know who they are outside of being that victim in that traumatic experience. And that's what they've built their whole life experience around mainly. So I get it. But at the same time, that kind of mentality is what's going to keep you stuck. And that's all I was trying to say when I made that post. I wasn't trying to bash anybody or say, because listen, people go through things and it's tough and it hurts. I get it. But the only point I was trying to make is we got to be able to climb out of those experiences so we can have healthy relationships, because these traumatic events and experiences that you've gone through in your life, it's costing you in your relationship with your SP, because you can't have a healthy relationship because you're playing the victim role, because you think, you're not doing anything wrong. You think it's the people's fault, but you're not realizing that you're attracting those people because they're you pushed out. They're mirroring those emotions that you have inside of you. So I wanted to make this video to let everyone know, get out of playing the victim role. Get out of playing that role, because it's going to cost your SP, it's going to cost your relationship. And when the right man or woman does show up to save the day, you're not going to recognize it, because that love is going to feel foreign. You're not going to know what to do with it because you've grown accustomed to toxicity. And that's what you define as love. So when that new man or woman shows up in your life, that new SP shows up, you're looking at it, it's not familiar to you, because that's not what your definition of love is. Your definition of love is toxicity, and it's normal. So when someone shows up and they're doing nice things and they're showing you love, that's not normal to you. So what you're going to end up probably doing is you're probably going to push that person away, or you're probably going to start arguments and fights over bullshit, etc., because, like I said, it's foreign to you. And that's why I said what I said is we need to stop playing the victim, because that's holding you back from having the best relationship of your life. And when that new relationship comes in, welcome it. If you want to have new experiences, you have to welcome new experiences. So when that person shows up, don't be surprised when your experiences aren't like, the other past experiences that you've had with the toxic people that you dealt with. because most likely you're not going to have the same experiences because you're meeting someone who's healthy. You're meeting someone who's whole, and they're not going to bring you that negative experience that you're used to. So accept that, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to lose something potentially that could have been great because you weren't ready, because you weren't focused on it, because it wasn't familiar to you. And a lot of times people end up regretting these decisions because they couldn't recognize it, they couldn't see it, because they were so attached to what they thought their definition of love is. Because the thing about the mind is your mind will literally link love to whatever you went through at home. So whatever gives you whatever feeling at home gets you, your mind will literally, your subconscious mind will literally propel you to partners that will match that association of what home is. So if your home was disruptive and, violent, et cetera, your subconscious mind will literally propel you and link you towards partners that will match that. And that's what your definition of love will be. And that is extremely dangerous. So that's why I wanted to jump on here, man, and tell you guys, whatever you can do, get out of playing the victim role. It's only good for a little while, for the time being. But when you stay in that victim role, you are causing yourself so much hurt, so much pain, that you won't be able to heal. And that's why you keep going through the same situation over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Don't get mad at the people for sucking the life out of you when you keep giving them the straw. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop giving people the straw. That's why people keep sucking the life out of you, because it's you. You keep giving them the straw because you're not healing. And that's all I want people to understand and know and to do, is that you have to heal. Healing is up to you. It's not up to the other people you're dealing with. People that come into your experience, they're just going to come and they're going to validate whatever insecurities, hurts, pains, traumas you have going on inside your life. And that's why it's important for you to heal. And in my case, in my example, what I've been able to do is I've been able to take a somewhat painful experience in a relationship and a breakup, a really bad breakup, being that you're in love with someone. I look at myself and I think about The Alchemist, that book by Paulo Coelho. I forget how to say his name. But basically, it's like I created alchemy. I took a situation where, I went through a tough breakup, and I was able to turn that situation into something good, into something golden. And that's what this YouTube channel is all about. Because if I hadn't gone through those bad experiences in my breakup, there would be no YouTube channel. There would be no Marvin's Room. I would have never even began to study the law of attraction. But the reason I started studying law of attraction and stuff like that was because I wanted to learn, how could I never go through this again? How could I never experience this type of pain again? Or if confrontation or something like that shows up, how can I be able to deal with it? And that was my therapy. That was my medicine. Some people turn to drugs, some people turn to eating addictions and other addictions, et cetera, but my addiction became learning and reading and educating myself on why certain things happen, and that's how I dealt with it. And that's how my law of attraction journey began 7 years ago. So I took a very bad situation and I turned it into something positive. And that's what we have to do when you're playing that victim role, whatever it is that you've gone through. You have to take that and you have to do a 360, and you have to create alchemy out of it. You have to turn it into something else, something that was once negative, and you have to turn it into something positive. And that's kind of like anybody that has a great success story, that's what they've done, whether they've been homeless, whether they were raped, whether they were physically abused, or verbally abused. I look at us with the N-word. Black people, we basically took a derogatory term in the N-word, and we turned it into something positive. You know what I'm saying? We turned it into a term of endearment. Now, I know some people don't they will disagree with that, but that's what we did, and I'm telling you guys, that's what you have to do with you playing the victim role. And that's a huge piece of why so many people don't get better and don't attract their SP back, is because they think that they're not in the wrong. They think that they did nothing wrong. They think the world owes them something. And I try to tell people the world is just giving to you, mirroring back to you whatever your thoughts and beliefs are. That's what it's going to give to you. So until you heal that, the world is going to keep giving you bullshit until you turn that bullshit into gold. Like I said, alchemy, just like me. I turned my, breakup into a situation that's good to now where I can help the world and spread my message and help people and tell them, look, it's not the end of the world, you know? But you have to get out of that victim role. And the way you get out of that victim role is you have to you have to forgive yourself, heal yourself for all the past mistakes. You have to heal the people in your past. You have to heal the people in your life that have hurt you, that have come could have come to destroy, et cetera, et cetera. You got to forgive all of those people in those situations, because you got to understand, those people only did that to you because they were hurting. That's why they did that to you. And when you understand, like in Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements, you stop taking things personally when you find out, you know, other people have their own problems and pains and traumas that they were dealing with. You were never the problem. You were never the problem. What was the problem was the people that you attracted, your mindset. That was the problem. That was the problem. So if you guys can change and fix that, I think that's one of the biggest pieces to law of attraction, is because most people, they, like I said, they stay stuck. They love playing the blame game. They love saying, oh, it's not my fault. You know, if this person would have never did this, then this would have happened, you know. But you have to understand, on the outside, on the physical world, it may not be your fault. You know what I'm saying? But mentally, on a mental plane, on a spiritual plane, an emotional plane, it's 100% your fault, because you are the one thinking and creating all of this stuff with your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, etc., etc. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to hop on here and tell you guys, it's so imperative to just heal yourself of whatever it is that you've gone through mentally and emotionally, and to stop playing the victim, because that's what keeps so many people trapped. And you know, another thought that I have is this ties into mental health with me, because I personally believe that mental health is misdiagnosed a lot of times. And the reason I believe that is because, obviously, as a lot of you guys know, medicine, pharmaceutical companies, these guys are all about profits. These guys, they just want money, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? But when you think about it from a logical standpoint, I think anyone that has gone through traumatic events in their lives, whether they've been raped, you know, parents have died, you know, lost a sibling or lost a wife or whatever the case may be, I think anybody in their right mind that goes through something traumatic and they choose and they don't talk about it, they don't heal from it, they just keep it concealed and they cover it up and they move through life like nothing's wrong, of course they're gonna have mental issues. Of course they're gonna have anxiety. Of course they're gonna have depression. But it is my firm belief that if a person can heal those traumatic events that they've been concealing for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, etc., it is my belief that they can heal the mental illness. They can heal, you know, whatever it is that they're dealing with. Because I think that's all mental illness is. If you take someone like Kanye West, if you notice, Kanye West is always trending because of the stuff that he says, and he was diagnosed with bipolar. But if you notice, Kanye West, he really didn't change. He really didn't start having problems until his mom passed away. When his mom passed away, that's when he started acting out. Kanye West has admitted that he sold his soul. Things like that. Now, you take someone's mom passing away, on top of the fact that they've admitted to selling their soul. These are pains and traumas, etc., that a lot of people, they don't know how to cope with and deal with. And that's why a lot of these famous people later in life, they start turning to drugs, etc., because they've made decisions and things have happened in their lives and they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to cope with it. And so, me personally, I think a lot of times there's nothing wrong with a lot of people. I don't think there's anything wrong with a lot of you guys, a lot of people out here in this world. I don't think they really have mental issues like that. I don't think there's something wrong chemically with their brain. I think most people, they've just gone through life experiences and they don't know how to deal with the pain that it caused. They don't know how to deal with the trauma that it caused. And so, you know, it turns into anxiety. It manifests as depression. It manifests as mood swings. It manifests to the doctor telling you, oh, you have schizophrenia, et cetera, et cetera. But my personal belief is people don't have none of that stuff. And I believe that if once you go back to the root of the problem, which could be childhood, you know, healing your childhood, whatever traumas, you know what I mean? Whether it's a Dr. Hugh Lin inner child meditation or whatever the case may be, I think when you heal that, mental illness can dissipate or can be eradicated completely, you know, but you have to stop running from the problem. You have to face the problem, and you have to stop being okay with being the victim and feeling good that people are telling you you're the victim, because you start to feel good about it and you start to find your identity in that. Get out of that, you know? And so that's why I wanted to come on here and tell you guys and share this powerful message to help you have healthy relationships, to manifest your healthy relationships back, whether it's a specific person or whatever. Get out of the victim role and understand your thoughts, your emotions, the words you speak, their synergy. And that's the reason why you're going through what you're going through. Whatever in your past that happened, heal that. You have to face it, heal it. You will get better. I'm telling you, your mental health will get better. Your relationships will get better. Your life will get better. All right, guys? I want to jump on here, share this message with you. Very powerful. You know, might strike a nerve, but that's good, because that's showing you that, you know, you probably need healing somewhere. All right, guys? Marvin's Room, back for another episode. Thank you guys again. Also, I am doing one-on-ones. If you want to hit me up one-on-one, whether it's one-on-one FaceTime or phone call or email for coaching, etc., you guys know how to reach me. All right, I'll see you guys next time. You know where, you know when. Marvin's Room, we out.